your conscience will now be saying to you, right, well, hang on, because of social media, I've got a much bigger platform, and I can at least have the illusion of making some difference or some change. Obviously, in the case of, for example, Marcus Rashford, it's not an illusion. It's actually sort of happened. But it really depends if it is. If you're Dua Lipa telling people to vote for Jeremy Corbyn, well, it didn't necessarily work. Although you could argue that a lot of people that she in the age group that she was, nudging were maybe we're going to vote for him anyway. I don't know. And then you can qualify just how much celebrity sort of interference actually makes a difference. But there are also sort of scenarios, case studies where it's probably been quite influential. Really, I'd say. So what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded way is it must be quite hard. It must be quite hard to resist that now if you're a public figure. Years ago, it would have been like, I don't really want to step out. I don't want to be known for this.
Yeah.
I mean, take the Beatles, obviously, throughout their career. It was only later on when they were solo and established and all the rest of it that they were picking up, different sort of causes to some extent and adding their name to various things. Whereas now, I don't know.
Well, I think when you are present on social media, it feels like if you don't, what I don't like about it is like on Twitter when something happens, it feels like if you don't respond to that event or that, if there's a whipping up of something, it feels like if you're silent on that thing, then it means that you're either agreeing with something or disagreeing. Do you know what I mean? So like,
it's almost like guilty by association or something like
yeah,
that.
and you get tarred. It feels like you're getting tarred with this. Yeah, if you haven't said, "Oh no, that's terrible," like not this, but like say if 9/11, if you didn't say, "Oh, what happened to 9/11 was terrible," then you don't think it was terrible, but which is so sort of simplistic. And just because you say something on social media, A, doesn't mean it's true and you believe it, and B, you can be saying stuff. There's heck of a lot of virtue signaling goes on, and C, there is actually a life off social media where you can feel things and recognize things without having to push it all out in. I know it's more than 160 characters now, but whatever, 200 characters, whatever it is. But I find that really gross when it's like sometimes there feels like an outpouring, and it feels like if you don't join in, then you're kind of not, you don't feel that thing.
Well, that's really interesting for two reasons. One is that, so say for example, I mean, some people but if someone has died, it might be celebrity generally, and it's like, I mean, everyone kind of obviously piles in and understandably, but it's sort of like sometimes you actually have to take a moment because it's quite a shock, and you feel that you need to sort of comment sooner rather than later, but you're also like, my God, that's really depressing, and I'd actually like a bit of time to sort of process that. But also when you mentioned September the 11th, I was just sort of thinking, I'm so glad we didn't have Twitter when 9/11 happened. It would just be, I think maybe we would have found Bin Laden quicker somehow, though, I have to say. I mean, there'd probably be people tweeting in.
It did take a while, you're right.
But
I mean, yeah. But yeah, it that sort of thing really I hate the Twitter pile-on. I think that's what I find that really disgusting, and I've trial by Twitter and all that kind of stuff. I think it's immoral.